Hi y'all, I'm Chase. This is my 2013 Dyna Fat Bob with the 103, affectionately known as Mary Jane. Today I think we're going to talk about bikes that I regret selling or getting rid of. So far, I've had 5 different bikes. My first bike was an 883 Sportster. It was one of my favorites, but I don't really regret getting rid of it. And that's mostly because it was in bad shape. I had to lay it down, and it had some severe problems that just weren't worth fixing. The other 3 bikes I've had besides Mary Jane here was a 750 Aprilia. I was a naked, a Ninja 600, and a Sportster 1200. Actually was an 883 that had been converted to 1200. Now the other 3 bikes, I'd say it's a tie. That Aprilia and the Sportster. I'd say between those two, the Aprilia just handled, braked. It was just a great overall riding bike. But the problem with that one was, unfortunately, parts for that are hard to come by, and they were exorbitantly expensive. I mean, even more expensive than anything for a Harley. So if I really had to pick one out of the 2 that I really regretted getting rid of the most, it would be the Sportster. And I think that's because I spent so much time doing little upgrades and upkeep and getting it to where I liked everything about it. Plus, I didn't get much in trade-in for it. But I really miss that bike. It was the one that I got most comfortable with riding. I knew the bike in and out. I mean, I'd torn a lot of it down. It did have a 1200 kit on it. I spent a lot of time just working on the bike in general. I'd torn all the tins off, had everything repainted. It was a lot of work. And I'd spent a lot of money, you know, fixing stuff up on the bike that needed to be fixed. I was really comfortable with it, and I think that's why I kind of miss it so much. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable on this bike now. I've had it since October of last year. And I think I might be about as comfortable on this as I was on that Sportster. I know the bike, how everything handles now. I've done some work to it myself. And I really like it a lot. So I think I like this one about as much as I like that one. I think I like this one more. It's more my style. But that bike, the Sportster 1200 I had, that I'd done so much work on it myself and had other work done on it that I do miss it. And I think it's once you've worked on it on a bike and you've made it your own, that makes such a huge difference. I mean, in the comments, tell me what bike do you wish you would have kept? But that Sportster, I really miss that bike. I should stop and get gas. I need it. Time for some 93 dead dynos. But the other thing I liked about it, it was a good bike for just to learn on. I know it's weird to think that a 1200 would be a learning bike, but I did a lot of learning on that bike myself. All right. Now back to what I was saying. I think that everyone probably has a bike if they've had more than one, or even two or three. They have a bike that they think about, you know. Sometimes late at night you're sitting there and you go, damn, you know, I missed that bike. You see a picture of your bike, or, you know, you with your friends, or something you spent a lot of time with, you know. You worked on it, you wrenched on it. A lot of guys, they get that feeling like, man, you know, if I could just have that back. I seen Blockhead had traded in his Sportster and then ended up rebuying it. So I must not be the only guy that thinks like that. But it's a weird thing, you get so intimate with it. Maybe it's like an old girlfriend or something. You know, you had, I mean, the reason I got rid of it is because it had a couple little problems, and it was going to be a little bit more to fix it, and kind of a pain in the ass, and I knew it. But I'd done so much work on it already, I feel like I should have just kept it, because I probably would have been better off. I mean, I didn't get much for trade-in. You never do. Definitely not as much as you put into it. But when you look back, it's like that old girlfriend, you know, you broke up with her because at the time, man, it just seemed like she got on your nerves like no tomorrow. She never gave you a break or a moment of peace. But you look back on it and you don't really remember those, you know, the time that she screamed at you. You remember, you know, the good stuff. You know, going out, having a good time, everybody laughing and happy. You remember that stuff more, it seems like. And it's kind of the same way with a bike. Yeah, it might have cost you quite a bit of money, and it was a pain in the ass. Man, you had so much fun with it. And I think that's just, I don't know, humans are prone to nostalgia or something like that. But I mean, if I really think about it in a, I don't know, in a, how much I actually got for it, for what I put into it, I should have just kept it. And after taxes and talking the guy down, I still paid only about $1,000 less than what the guy was asking for this in cash. So honestly, it's like I didn't really make out at all. I mean, I got rid of a bike for, let's just call it $1,000. I mean, I talked the guy down. He gave me, you know, a bunch in trade-in, but after taxes and fees and every damn thing else they tack on, really, I only got about if I added it all up, really, it was like I got $1,000 for my Sportster, and it was worth way more than that. And I wish I would have just kept it, because that would have been the smart thing to do. But I didn't. But if I ever get a chance and I see it, I'll probably rebuy it, because I know the bike. It didn't have a crap ton of miles on it. I mean, for a Sportster it did. I rode the living hell out of it. I mean, I live out in the boonies. I got it with about 3,000 miles on it. I had it for 2 years, the 1200, and I was up at almost to 13,000 miles. So I put about 9,000 miles on a Sportster in 2 years, and believe me, that's a lot of miles on a Sportster when they don't ride that well. They don't take bumps very well, and I went on 100 mile or more trips with it very, very often. Here's that little dangerous spot I like to talk about coming up through here. There's always some gravel at the end of that little road, and man, it's slick. You come off there the wrong way and you touch that gravel, the wheels will probably come out from under you. A lot of sport bike guys wreck there. But anyways, back to the Sportster. I miss that bike, and I think it's because I rode the living hell out of that bike. I knew everything, you know, every little problem, how it handled, I mean, everything. But it just, I mean, the reason I got rid of it is because I wanted to do a little more touring. I wanted something that was a little bit more comfortable. I wanted more power too. And man, with the 1200 kit on an 883 gearing, I'll tell you what, a little Sportster, man, it's a little rocket ship. You'd be surprised at how fast a little Sportster with a 1200 kit and 883 gearing is. It's pretty quick. But I wanted something that I could take on longer trips and would be good if I just wanted to bebop around inside of a town. It wasn't too heavy. So, I mean, the touring bikes were out of, you know, just out of the question. I mean, I don't need an 800-pound bike, especially if I have to go riding through a city. That sucks. So, when I went looking and to trade in that Sportster, I ended up with, you know, this Dyna Fat Bob. I had talked to a bunch of people, and you know, for the riding style I was going to be doing, this was going to be about the best style bike for me to get. But I still miss that Sportster. And like I said, I think it's like an old girlfriend. I mean, you don't... I mean, yeah, you remember, like, man, sometimes you can be a pain in the ass, but it's those good times that you remember more than anything. That fun you had, that time you took a curve that you know you shouldn't have been taking at 70 miles an hour, but you did it any damn ways, and it worked out, and you lucked out, or you know, it was a comfortable relationship. But I know why I got rid of it, because, you know, at some point you have to admit that there's only so much you can do in a relationship, and maybe this relationship isn't in the best interest of you. Just like every relationship with, say, your girlfriend, or maybe even your boyfriend, let's call it that. It's not the right direction for you. But for the riding I wanted to do, the Dyna was going to be the best idea. You could do the most upgrades to it to make it's more of an all-around bike. So I think I'm going to click down a couple of gears and slow down because it's 35 now. But yeah, in the comments, let me know, what bike do you just wish you never would have got rid of? I think that's going to be all for this video. It's a little short one, I guess. Like, comment, subscribe. Flick that ding-a-ling if you want to be notified of any new videos I'm putting out. And I'm out.